Hello, everybody, and welcome to Churchy Chats with the Church Girl. This episode is bittersweet for me because this has been the whole month in the She Shed, and I cannot believe we're already to the final episode in the She Shed. It has been lit. So I'm excited about tonight's episode. I'm excited and a little sad, but we'll see. We may revisit the She Shed. If this is your first time here, my name is Alicia Wiley. I am the owner and creator of A Church Girl, which is a lifestyle and clothing brand that seeks to inspire and uplift everyone we have the opportunity and the privilege of connecting with. And tonight I have some hot topics, but I also have some amazing women on with me. I'm going to say a little bit about how I know each of them, and then I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get right into tonight's topic. So our first beautiful lady. Now, I don't want to say your name wrong again. Now, I just asked this girl how to say her name. I just don't want to say it wrong. I just don't. So one more time.
Listiner.
Okay, so let me tell you how I met Listiner. I met her through her business partner, with Devereaux, who was also on the show, who I met through BCI. And she was like, let me tell you, she's amazing. You need to get her on the show. I was like, bet. So we're going to have her on the show. So I am so happy to be connecting with you. And I hope to, connect with you and do many things with you in the future. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself in just a few. Now, Miss Charra, we connected on IG. We just kind of found each other and we liked what each other was doing and, wanted to connect. She sent me one of her Spiritual Girl Gang shirts that I can't wait to sport. And I just love the work that she's doing through social media, through, this new medium that we have, and that medium has turned up a bit in the last couple of months because of COVID, but I'm inspired by her page. I'm inspired by what she does. So I was so happy to get her on the show. So I'm excited tonight for us to dive into these topics. And Miss Danielle. So let me tell y'all about Danielle. Danielle is a homegirl. I've been knowing Danielle for a while now. I don't even remember how we met. That's that. But let me tell y'all, Danielle had an event. This must have been maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I think. And I was a vendor there, and Danielle paid me one of the most lovely compliments that anyone has ever paid me in my life. So I'm going to share that story right quick. So it was an event, about empowering, and she was teaching her tools. Y'all, she is a beast with branding. She is a beast with making that money. She is a beast with helping people and dropping knowledge and all of that. So that's what she was doing as usual. And she was saying how important it is to have people in your life who you can gain something from, right? So she pointed out just a few people in the audience that, she, can get inspiration from. And she said about me, she said, Alicia is so graceful. She said, Alicia is graceful. And she said, Alicia reminds me to be graceful. And that was just such a sweet and kind thing to say. So that is just something I hold in my heart. Danielle, that was so sweet and kind of you to say that about me. And that will keep me on my toes. You know what I'm saying? Because when people see you as something and that people are looking to you for a certain thing, that helps to keep you, in that line. So thank you for that, Danielle. And I'm so glad that we connected. I'm so glad to have you on Churchy Chats tonight. So ladies, I'm going to let you introduce yourselves. I'm going to give you the screen and talk to the people.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Listiner Inspires, and thank you so much for having me on this platform. I'm super excited. A little bit about myself is I am an award-winning author. I am a healing and recovery accountability expert, coach, and speaker. I am also the founder and creator of Healing is a Journey, which is a quarterly series of conferences that are specifically designed for those who have gone through trauma and abuse to start to learn how to live their best life by providing them with tools, resources, supports, and solutions. And I'm also an actress. So yay!
Come on, actress. Come on, and you also rocking that bald head, sis. You rocking.
Yes. Oh, am I a survivor? Cancer survivor. Yes.
Come on, cancer survivor. Yes. All right, Miss Charra, talk to the. Oh wait, let me add her back. All right, Miss Charra, talk to the people. Tell them what you want them to know about you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charra. I am the founder and chief executive officer of Spiritual Girl Incorporated. We are a women empowerment organization. We talk about spirituality, we talk about life, and in addition to that, I am a mental health clinician, I'm an advocate, I'm a life coach, I'm a mother. I am just all things women driven. So that's really it about
Yeah.
me. I'm nothing too special.
Very special. Very special. All right, Danny, talk to the people, sis.
Hey y'all, I'm Danielle Matthews. I'm the founder and CEO of Pray Pretty, which is a women's empowerment brand. I'm also a school teacher. I teach 5th grade ELA here in New Orleans. I am a mom, a new mom again. And my brand is focused on teaching women how to embrace their beauty within through prayer, through social media, and just with God as a center. So that's who I am.
All right. All right. Listen, y'all, we have some powerhouses on tonight, and I'm excited. So we're going to jump right into it. Make sure that you share this broadcast. Make sure that you tell all your family and friends to hop on and join the conversation. So the first thing I want to hop into is, we know recently with all that has happened with, Black Lives Matter and, the injustices of African Americans, the racial injustices, particularly being broadcast in such a way, this has caused many things to be birthed, right? So one of the main things that I, noticed is us supporting Black businesses, right? So everywhere you turn, it's support Black businesses, support Black businesses. And there's even a page that's local to New Orleans, where Black NOLA does this and where Black NOLA does that. And listen, I am 100% for supporting African Americans and their businesses and all of that good stuff. But I do have a question for you. How do you think the Black community would receive white people promoting their businesses by saying support white businesses, shop white? Would we be okay with that?
I don't think we would even have to do that, because all we do is shop white. All we do is support white. That's all that we see daily. So, we do it subconsciously. I think in this new age, it's finally coming to the forefront of how many Black successful businesses there are. And with this economy and with the injustice that we are receiving as a race as a whole, now we're collaborating, and now we get to the place that we're like, okay, we're going to support our own. But it took us to get to that place. We weren't always saying that. So I feel like it would probably create an uproar if we saw this support white businesses. It probably would cause us to maybe even think, we are the less dominant, race. So right. I don't know. I would be probably in my feelings, but I shop Black anyway. So
So when you say that, okay, like, and I know what you mean by when you say, okay, we shop white anyway. When it comes to smaller businesses, like for okay, we might shop at Walmart, or we might shop at, places like that are big brand businesses. But when it comes to the smaller white businesses, which is mostly what we're supporting when it comes to the African American community, how does that differ? If they say support white, shop white, I really, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they talking to their people. So they wouldn't be talking to us. They would be talking to their people. They would be talking to, their white community. And they probably support each other. It's sad to say that in our community, we have to say shop Black, support Black businesses. That shouldn't be something that we have to say. It should be something that should be innate, but it hasn't been, because we haven't done it. We haven't been afforded the same opportunities. So I feel like, promote your people. I'm gonna promote mine. So if that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. But I'm shopping Black. I support anybody. I shop with anybody. I really do. But I think that if they did that and that's what they wanted to do to reach their demographic, all for
them, huh? Charra, Listiner, what do y'all say? What do y'all think will happen?
Yeah, I would be offended if I heard a white business say shop white. Let's look at the facts. The fact of the matter is, we have to promote ourselves because we don't get the support. They already get the support. And then think about who they target. They're not targeting us when they're advertising and they're marketing anyway. So basically they are saying shop white. They say shop white when they put these high-end businesses that our people can't afford, they put them in the areas where we don't really live. So subconsciously, and the undertone is shop white. We have to say shop black because when we start businesses, we're washed out, we're flooded out, we're silenced by the bigger white businesses. Being a business owner, when I sell my t-shirts, you know what the first thing people call me and ask me? Well, what does that mean? But when they go into the Nike store, they don't call up Nike and say, well, what does Nike mean? They go and they buy those $200 sneakers. So unfortunately, we're forced to say you have to keep your dollars in the black community because that's the only way that we'll build the black community. They don't have to say it because they're already investing in their own people. So they are saying shop white, shop white, shop white. So I'm offended right now just even talking about it.
I'm getting worked up just thinking about it. I wish they would.
You know?
Listiner, what do you say? How do you feel? How would you feel about that?
I personally believe it's already happening subliminally. Like they both say, like when you look at the businesses and where we have been shopping at, they're predominantly not African American. So when you're thinking, like, even though initially I might say, well, dang, what the heck? Why would you know? But then it's a mindset of, okay, let me look at the bigger picture. And I agree with both of these ladies where we have to start to invest in our own, because every other community does that. I mean, you can go to Hispanic or Jewish or whatever community and they know who to go to for certain things. If they go outside of it, it's because they can't find it within their community. As for us, we go to everybody else to get things where we could have a cousin, we can have somebody who's doing something and won't even think to try to even patronize them or see what it looks like. Now, if you try to and it's not a good quality, that's different. But trying to be intentional with circulating the black dollar and creating generational wealth and breaking generational poverty has to be a mindset that has to be shifted and changed.
Right.
Okay. And I'm going to take a few comments from our guest. Robert says they've never had to ask us to support them. We've always wanted to support white. And I agree with that in a way, because but I think I'm geared. I don't know. I don't know how Caucasian people, and I probably should have had a white person on tonight, because I don't know how it feels, right? I don't know how it feels for them to hear shop black or support black businesses. Now, for me, that's like people saying shop with females or support female entrepreneurs. I don't know how that feels as a man to hear people say that, but men know that they have the advantage. So it usually does not bother them, right? And I mean, I'm speaking for, but men, please speak up. So I can't put words in anybody's mouth, but if I know I have the advantage, then I don't mind somebody saying shop with me or support me, because I don't have to say that because people already support me. However, I don't know how I would feel still if it was like if I was a small business owner like I am, and all I hear is support white businesses and shop white and the white business owner. I don't know if that was settled right with me. And I feel like the African-American community would be ready to bake a cake for these people and we're ready to have their head on a, stick, because y'all can't do that. And y'all stay trying to keep us down. And I understand it. I don't want anybody to get me wrong. I understand why Black people, why we do what we do, but I just want to know if the shoe was on the other foot, how we would feel. And my brother Dante, he said, saying shop white or support white businesses is equivalent to saying that all lives matter.
Exactly.
And he
totally
said,
agree.
You agree with that?
I agree with him. Yes.
Yeah. And he said it differs because they're neighborhoods and it depends on our dollar, but don't cater to our culture. Right. So sometimes I think Charra was saying, they put things inside of they'll put things that they want us to have per se, and I hate to say it like that, inside our neighborhoods and on our corners, like beauty supply stores. And now, I mean, I'm getting into more than just one color, but they'll put the stuff that they want us to shop in their neighborhoods, and the stuff that they really don't want us to shop, the upscale stuff, the things that they feel like is out of our league or out of our price range, they'll put that where they want their people to get it. I'm just very curious as to what would happen if the white community turned around on us and was like, yo, support white businesses. I would be very curious to see what our response would be. But Charra, Danielle, I can look at your face. So because we are the minority, and because we have had this struggle, and because, like I said, with men and women, we know that men, have advantages that women don't have. That's just the way of the world. We would be upset because they are the majority, or we would be upset because we feel like they don't have to do this. We would be upset because what? What would be our?
They already have the advantage. That's like me being a professional basketball player, and I'm playing against a high schooler, and I completely just whoop this boy's butt, knowing I am much more skilled. That's an unfair advantage. You don't put somebody in two different leagues, and not to say that we're incapable. It's just they gave us this seat. They put us in this position. They need to fall back, let us have our moment, and they're doing that with this whole Black Lives Matter movement. If they were to start saying shop white, I am turning into a Black Panther.
Straight up, you just joined.
Straight up, like, yes, I'm done. It's
joining
because it's ridiculous. Like that, you said it already. They already have the advantage. They don't need to do that.
Yeah. And I'm going to read this in a couple more comments, and then we're going to take a quick commercial break and go to the next topic. But Dante said, a privileged class of people are trying to play on buy Black by saying shop white. They're emotionally slighted, but in no way are they disenfranchised. Black businesses are, right? So we understand, especially as African Americans, we understand that we are automatically starting off at a disadvantage, right? We are already starting off in a place where we don't get money loaned to us in the same way. We don't get looked at the same when we walk into a situation to get resources and to get provided for us to be able to do certain things. So if you're a group that already has that and it's being catered to in that area, then you shouldn't have to promote further specifically to your race or to all races. But I'm going to say this. Robert says that men no longer have the advantage, because we were talking about men and women also having, the advantage. He said, look around you and see that the Black female agenda has far surpassed us very rapidly. And I agree with that. And I disagree with that, because although it's changed drastically, as in, we have a voice and all of this stuff. But at the very end of the day, women are still looked at as the lesser of the two, right? We're not looked at. Go ahead, Danielle.
I said, especially women of color. Our buying power is so high, right? The leverage is there, but we don't get it. Even in professional arenas, me as an educator, with all of my education and all of my experience, if I'm up against my white counterpart, I have to jump through hoops. When my staff are there, my dad is there, the kids love me. It's just like, what makes her better than I am? I'm more qualified. So I feel like women are already at a disadvantage. And if there were more Black-owned businesses by men, I feel like we as Black women will support them. We don't see it enough. We don't see it enough. So we are already at a disadvantage in that instance anyway.
Yeah. And I think for women, I think it's just harder for us because we're seen as emotional. We're seen as, we're just seen as so many different things. We're seen as not as strong and not as all of this stuff. And when somebody see us coming, especially as a Black woman, it's like, I don't have any respect for you. And then the reason why I don't have respect for you is because of usually a stereotype. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're sister girl. Oh, I have to worry about you rolling your neck and smacking your teeth and all of that type of stuff. And I, for one, I would sometimes kind of pull some of my sister girl back, which I don't really call sister girl, it's just who I am. But I would sometimes pull some of that back because I didn't want people to see me in a way that fed into a stereotype, right? Mm-hmm. But I had to get over that because first of all, the moment you see me before I open my mouth, I don't care if my hair is straight and silky and down my back. I don't care if I'm wearing braids. You see me as an African-American woman. So you already have in your mind 9 times out of 10 what you think about me and how you feel about me. So me pulling back my personality because I don't want to fit your stereotype, miss me with that. If you don't want what I have to offer, I am an intelligent Christian Black woman who don't speak on stuff I don't know about. So I'm not going to open my mouth being ignorant, and I will research and learn and do whatever. So my thing is, I don't know. This is something that, I don't know. This is something that we shall overcome, I guess.
We're going to overcome because in this society, especially now with this pandemic and us really understanding our word, we creating our lane.
Yeah,
we creating and we blazing, and you don't want to do what? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna create my own door.
There you
go. So
and that's what's been so important, and that's what I am excited about for African Americans, right? But when I thought about this topic, and then I was just thinking about how this thing has been pushed, and how the Black support Black matter, support Black businesses has just been such a drive, right? And I just was like, what if the shoe was on the other foot? Let's just say it was. How would we feel about that? Because if somebody had a conversation about us and doing this, then we would still have an uproar, even if they didn't say support white businesses, right? If they just had a conversation about how they feel about it, we would be upset about the conversation. Forget them saying support white businesses. We would be like Charra said, just talking about it, I'm getting upset, right? So, and I think we have many reasons. Like Dante said, we have been disenfranchised, and we've had certain situations that have led us to push our businesses in a way that other nationalities maybe didn't have to. But Corey said, my trainer, he said it's divisive.
Yep.
It's divisive. So, and I'm not going to push this. We're going to talk about this for about 2 more minutes, but I just need to, do you all think that this is divisive? Saying support Black life. Do y'all say that this is divisive to say support Black
Absolutely
businesses?
not. Absolutely
okay.
not.
No, you don't think so, Danielle?
I'm promoting my people.
What do you say? Do you think that it's divisive?
No, I don't. I think it's creating more of a collaboration within the Black community. It's like knowing your worth instead of just always feeling like you're less than.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we have to do what we have to do for our people and for the building up, right? We have been knocked down for so long, and I understand it. I understand the perspective of it being divisive, but I also I understand both sides. Let me say that I support Black businesses, I support small businesses, I support businesses, right? But I was just curious to see what y'all would think about this. And I'm going to say this last thing. I know I keep saying this, but this really last thing. And Robert has said that, did we realize that the 50s era training field on how to sell to Black women? I'm not talking about our money, because you respect my dollar. I'm talking about you respecting me.
Right.
I'm not talking about my buying power. These people know how powerful the Black dollar is, and the Black dollar that the woman holds the purse strings to, but they don't respect us just because they respect our money. Right. Exactly. So, that was kind of, but I appreciate that point. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come right back with our next topic. Stay tuned.
Join the Life Center Cathedral for Morning Manna with Bishop J. Douglas Wiley Taylor, a time of prayer and fasting. Pray with us every morning at 5 a.m. for 21 days, beginning August 1st, only on Facebook Live.
So I want everybody watching, I hope that you would join us in our 5 o'clock prayer from August 1st, my church, Life Center Cathedral, August 1st to August 21st. I just need you to log on at 5 o'clock. You can go right back to sleep after it's over. But I believe that this is something that's so important right now. So if you want to log in every morning or just one morning, come on and join us. I think it's going to be an amazing time in God. Okay. So I don't know if you all have seen this. Please chime in. I have some very strong opinions about this. So let's get to it. So recently we've seen Kayne West. Kayne West a couple of weeks ago announced that he was running for president, right? So last week or the week before, he actually went on the campaign trail, right? He had a rally, and at this rally, Kayne West, he had a mental breakdown, literally, right? He literally had a mental breakdown. He started crying hysterically on stage, and he started saying things like, "I almost took my daughter's life." So we know that this was not okay. I'm not gonna get in that. We know that this is serious. Okay. It was a lot, and it was actually pretty sad and uncomfortable to watch. So on Tuesday night, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, Pastor Jamal Bryant did a worship service called Caring for Kanye. Caring for Kanye. What do y'all think about caring for Kanye? Now, I'm going to say that I'm going to admit this. I watched the whole service. I'm not good at that, y'all. I am very good at watching snippets of stuff, but I wanted to be super informed. I wanted to be fully informed. But even if you just were able to catch a clip, those who are watching, if you saw it, please chime in on this conversation. What do we think about caring for Kanye, the service? Not all at once.
Okay. Yeah.
I love Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant. Okay. Top 5, that's my dude, right? I don't know what the intent was for caring for Kanye. I'm not exactly sure where he was going. Was it just the plan on a neck? I don't know. I will say that we've all known that Kanye ain't been right since Miss Donda went on to glory. Since his mama died, he just has not been right. And I feel like, Kanye really, really, really needs professional help, and it's getting to the point that you might have to just put you on to the other side, because once you pro-black and you listen to this, and the next minute you got your Trump hat. Like, I'm trying to figure out what you really going through, Kanye. So Kanye got to get his whole entire life together. I mean, we need the praying part of the church to lay all the hands on Kanye, that because he just all over the place. Mental health is real. You cannot tell me he's so gifted, because he just did this amazing whole series and going to all these places and singing, and Joy was there. So I'm like, he did amazing with the Sunday service. So I felt like, because I'm like, this ain't real. But watching him and seeing him worship and seeing his children worship, I'm like, man, Kanye got the oil. He got a revelation. And then months later, we see Kanye in a whole different space. So I think it just speaks to like
very different space.
Period. He just bipolar, all skip, just everything, just out of the way.
Out of the way. So, Charra, Listiner, what are we thinking? What are we thinking about caring for Kanye? What?
Two things. First, unlike my sister next to me, I am not a fan of Jamal Bryant, and I'm just gonna make that clear right now.
Make it clear, sis. Speak your mind.
Let me just say that first. Secondly, when I will tell you, I did not watch the whole thing. I am like Miss Alicia. You got a good 5 minutes of my time. If it's more than 5 minutes, I'm done. And I might. So when I watched it, first I was turned off immediately because one, I'm a mental health professional, so I take mental health very serious. And I don't know if anybody is aware that this is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. July is, and I really didn't hear much about it. So when I seen that, let's talk about all the other women and men of God who have had episodes that we, the public, have seen. What about
My God
Leandria?
today.
My sister
My God
Leandra, okay?
My God today.
She went through something so devastating, and nobody reached out. They turned their back
not
on her.
one.
Not one person. But you mean to tell me that Brother Kanye was worthy of a care service?
You in my notes.
Listen, I've seen pastors commit suicide.
You in my notes.
I've heard about brothers and sisters who sit in the pews who are depressed, who are suffering from anxiety.
You are in my notes.
From depression. So what I saw was an opportunity, and I saw somebody reaching for more money and more followers and more parishioners and more notoriety. And that's all I could see. I couldn't see anything from that was worth. Kanye West has plenty of resources, including the Kardashians' resources, that he can go get the top psychiatrist in the world. Bipolar disorder, I see an impulsive person. Since he was bipolar before his mama died. The problem was mamas know how to keep their kids in check.
You're right.
So we missed that part.
Facts.
He's been struggling since he was a kid.
Sure.
However, mama died, so control died, discipline died. So now he's around people who just feeds his ego, and he is in a manic.
Don't care about
right
him,
now.
just want from him.
So you're doing what the white people, and I'm not even about to get on that. You're doing what he's a puppet. We're using him as a way of gaining, and that's not fair because this is real. Somebody's family is suffering because he is acting like he's not acting like anything. He's suffering from a mental illness.
He is.
So that's what I think about that. I thought that was horrible, and I'm disgusted.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to a few of your points. I'm gonna come back to a Listiner. What did you think? What do you think?
So I didn't get a chance to see the whole video because it kept freezing. Maybe that was just God not letting me see it. But
maybe he didn't want you to see it.
Maybe he didn't want me to see it because I am a mental health advocate. And if it's what was said, I would have been like probably throwing my laptop across the room. But
we didn't need that.
Yeah, we don't need that. I need the laptop. But I am a mental health advocate, and as someone who has suffered from depression and anxiety, I don't take mental health as a joke. And in our community, African American community, it's always swept under the rug when it comes to, unfortunately, church. It's like, oh, we're gonna pray it away. We're gonna lay hands on you. Okay, that's great, but there needs to be some type of mental health service. There needs to be, some type of support system. And if resources, and if it was gonna be a sermon, it should have been talking about the need to not just pray for him, but those who are in the limelight who might be suffering, and there's no one really to hold them accountable because everybody is thinking, like, oh, this person is gifted. Now, you can be anointed and gifted and called by God and still go through some mental illness. Okay. Those two aren't separate.
Our highly creatives usually struggle with mental, situations.
Exactly. And having the right support system around you who can say, hey, you're like, I have anxiety, and sometimes I'll be up and be working, and I have people in my support system like, okay, Listiner, you're going through recovery, you just got through a cancer, you need to calm down, you need to relax, you need to rest. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. So having people to hold you accountable in your circle is so important. You don't need people that's either going to laugh at you, going to manipulate you, or feed off, oh, he's having a high moment, he's being extra creative, and not seeing that what you're ranting about is not connecting. So on one hand, he did a great service, but on the other hand, he's talking all over the place. There has to be a balance, and someone needs to be in his circle and to check that.
But can we just add that the things that he was saying were true? They did contemplate an abortion when they were. So it's just about timing. He was going through it was like in that hypomania state where he was having an emotional breakdown. First of all, he is bipolar and he's a black man.
Right.
To some people, that's two illnesses in one. So he's struggling with having to be in the public eye, a black man, and be bipolar. You got to choose which one you're going to battle with. So he probably felt like, listen,
you got to choose your fight.
So that was an overload, and he was dumping. It wasn't like he was making up stuff. He wasn't delirious. He was sharing how he was feeling, and we laughed at him, and we wrote articles about him, and we blogged about him, And then you have this man having a service for him. Like, where was Kanye? Did you ask him? Like,
Right.
Who gave you permission? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That
what
part.
are we doing?
And when I saw it, so I'm like I said, y'all, I'm good for watching clips, 2-3 minutes or something, and be like, okay, I got the gist, and I'm gonna talk about it, right? Don't tell nobody. But for this, I was like, I really want to be super well informed. I did want to be well informed. So here's what I want to say. I appreciate some of what happened in this service, right? Pastor Brian had, some mental professionals to speak, and he had, he gave out some resources. Okay. So I'm not going to say that that was bad. Here's the thing. I'm not having a worship service in the name of Kanye West.
Therefore,
I'm not doing that. And here's why. Charra's point is one that I was been thinking about all day. All of the people who have struggled, all of the people who sit on our pews and struggle with mental illness. Has the church made any kind of grand caring for Sister Sue? No, we have not. So why is it that we are so caring for Kanye? Here's my issue. I'm going to even go so far to say is I'm not calling Kanye's name out in prayer, but there's a caveat before I call out the people that I'm connected to in prayer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
I'm not, I can't, how can I be something for somebody that I don't even know when I'm not that very thing for people that are right here in my congregation or in my circle or in my, and I agree with my aunt. She said it should have been private. That was exactly my thoughts, because Kanye West has been in and out of people's churches and nobody thought to sit this man down and say, what's going on? Nobody thought to sit this man down and see if it was a true transformation. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Did we ever check to see if there was a renewing of the mind that took place? Because just because he's singing glory, hallelujah, it's a lot that happens in the name of God that's not of God.
Come on now. Come on.
So you can miss me. You can miss me with your Sunday services. And I'm not against them. So let me say that. But I even downloaded his little album and I listened to every song carefully because I didn't want to be one of those Christians that was judgmental, right? I didn't want to be like, oh, well, he can't just come and jump on the train. Well, we all jumped on the train. Can we be honest? We're all saved by grace, right? Nobody was saved because of them. Jesus saved us all, right? However, I listened to his music. I listened to that CD. Like I said, I didn't judge it. I was just like, okay, maybe he's changed, maybe he's not. Nobody knows the condition of a man's heart but himself. But what concerns me is I don't know if anybody's has been to a Sunday service. How did these services end? Was it an altar call? Did we offer Christ to these people? What was the purpose? Because Dr. Brian said in the service, he said, people were lined up around my church, around New Birth. They were lined up. People who would have never darkened the door of a church. That is an opportunity. That is such an opportunity to have a witness. But did we offer Christ?
Yes.
Did we pray for Kanye when he walked through the doors of our church? Or were we just worried about the lines of people that were wrapped around the church? I need clarity.
Right.
Absolutely.
I need clarity. We could have been caring for Kanye when he was up singing gospel songs and changing some, secular songs to gospel, which I'm not against. Hey, do you, boo? However, these pastors, these preachers had the opportunity to minister to Kanye. Did we miss our opportunity when he was right there?
Right.
So I was slightly confused by this and disappointed a little bit because I had trouble fully understanding if we had the opportunity to truly reach this person for Christ, why didn't we do that? Why didn't we do that? Did anybody sit down and say, Kanye, why are we doing these Sunday services? Did anybody have this conversation? What are we doing? You know what I mean? What are we doing as the church? The Bible says, know those that you labor among. that means we have to know. It's not just, hey girl, hey Danielle, hey Listiner, hey girl, hey that's not what that means. That means recognize those that you labor among, right?
Absolutely.
We have to, do we just let people in our pulpits? Do we just let people in our churches? What made it okay? What made it okay for Sunday service to even jump off in our churches? If he wanted to do this outside of church, no problem. But where was our witness when he was right in our faces?
Right.
And that concerns me.
I wonder if there was a conversation. That's something that, I wonder if, because I can't see any, upstanding man or woman of God, that has sheep and that's feeding sheep, that's going to let anybody come in and just for the sake of filthy the poor or for the name. So I would hope as a believer that, it's not, you can't really fact check, but you definitely, you have to this spirit. Like what was the conversation? Did Kanye say, God called me, or I'm in a new leaf? Like, what did he say? Because you can't roll up in my church talking about the Lord just so, so I wonder if there was a conversation, and maybe in that conversation, Kanye said certain things, and maybe, he was in right standings and he was doing the right thing and his heart was in the right place. And then for whatever reason, like us, sinners backslid or just, is dealing with something, a mental health issue. And now he's off on a tangent, because we see that in the church too. We see people in and out the revolving doors in the church. Absolutely. And the next minute they, tied up in sin. I mean, we all sin and saved by grace. So maybe there was a conversation that happened, but to exploit, what the real issue is for a Kanye care service is totally different.
Absolutely.
Right. And I just feel like, I feel like having a service for Kanye now, I just feel like we missed the ministry moment to have somebody like a Kanye West or whatever in our midst and not take that opportunity. And this is going to go slightly off subject, but I feel like a lot of times we miss the opportunity to minister. We miss the opportunity to witness. And then sometimes we try to go back and say, okay, do things like caring for Kanye. That I don't believe. Did we miss our opportunity? How many people have we had in our grasp? You know what I'm saying? For the sake of Christ.
We're not focused on the right thing.
Christ, and that, that messed me up a little bit. And like I said, I appreciated that he gave these resources out, but I just couldn't get past the fact that, first of all, we have so many people suffering in our churches with this very thing. And I'm gonna go to the comments in a minute. And also, it's not like he's a stranger to the church, right? And then I started to think, then my mind started to think, like I said, well, what are happening at these Sunday services? Are we offering Christ? Are we, taking this opportunity not to just get people in the church, because just because people walk into a church, and even if before a church service, that doesn't mean absolutely anything. Right. So people who would have never darkened the door, these people were going there for a concert. Exactly. These people were going there to see Kanye West. I don't care what Kanye West singing.
Right.
And if I got to lift my hands and pretend like I'm feeling something, you can go into a Beyonce concert. You can go into anybody's concert and people got their hands in the air and feeling all type of things. And they ain't got nothing to do with the spirit of the living God.
Nothing.
You are absolutely right.
So just because we see people have a certain response, right? We look at people and say, oh, people were worshiping. Were they? And who or what were they worshiping? Worship means to ascribe worth to. That is not a term. Most Christians would only use that term for God. And of course, I'll praise, we offer people praise and accolades, but most Christians wouldn't say I worship anything else, because we don't. But the word means to ascribe worth to. So it doesn't mean you're ascribing worth to God, right? It depends on the heart of the worshiper.
Yep,
absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So it broke my heart in a couple different places for the church, for God's people, in that we have to be better stewards. Stewards doesn't just mean money. We have to be better stewards of the people that God have given us, right? we just have to do better, you know, and celebrity can't mean more than the, because really we're all, first of all, equal to God.
It's the soul.
But
Yep.
you know what I mean? You know, celebrity cannot trump, and Afton said, you know, oftentimes celebrity trumps regular status. So that is why, you know, we haven't seen, right? We haven't heard, we haven't seen this type of outpouring for our parishioners. But, you know, Kanye has a service, you know, and okay. So yeah, so another one of our viewers said the problem is we interpret the scriptures for our convenience, and the things that we should check, we don't, and that's very true. You know, because like Danielle said, I'm not gonna let anybody. I don't care if you are a preacher, you can be a pastor of a church. I don't care who you are, what your name is. You have to go through my, you know, my Holy Ghost. You have to go through my Holy Ghost before you come and say anything to my people. You have to go through my Holy Ghost. You have to go through, you know, I have to see what you're doing, what you're saying, and if it lines up with the word of God. And even if it does, sometimes that doesn't mean you can talk a good game, but that don't mean your spirit is in the right place.
All right, you got to test the spirit by
you know
the
what I'm
spirit.
saying? So, okay, so we have to, you know, we just have to be so careful. And on the subject of souls being saved, my mama said, how many souls got saved at these services, if any? And to me, that is the true sign of, you know, of a service. I don't know. And I guess none of us have been to a service. I was hoping that maybe one of you all had attended a Sunday service who could speak on it for me.
I saw one of them live. They were singing my songs. Like, oh yeah, but I mean, I wasn't persuaded. Like I was like you at first. I was like, I play the devil's advocate though, because I'm a girl from the gutter. I shouldn't be called, and you know,
absolutely.
And my life is not perfect by a long shot. So I'm always advocating, well, let me see something different. So when I did listen to the service, and so I did see people who appeared right. to, you know, to be worshiping God, to be, you know, in a spirit. And maybe that was their first encounter with the service like this. Maybe they felt welcome. Maybe they don't feel welcome in our churches. Maybe don't, you know, I don't know. But I did see where people were engaged and, you know, from different denominations. So if Kanye's intent was to really, you know, show his love for God in a musical form, and people went there for that intent, then by all means, God is going to get glory regardless.
Absolutely.
Went with the intent of, oh, I'm going to see Kanye, then all you was there for was Kanye anyway. You know, hopefully God put your heart, but if not, that wasn't your intent anyway. So for those who really went in, like, I don't feel comfortable going to my church, or I'm dealing with homosexuality and I feel like I've been judged by church. So I'm going to go to this open space and I'm going to get, you know, worship with other believers. And if they got it, they got it. But I'm like you and your mama. At the end of the day, did anybody open the great doors of the church? Did anybody open? Right. Was anybody's life really transformed? And I just felt good for an hour or two, because that's a concert.
Yeah, but that happened at church too. That happens at church too. Yeah, we go and we are in our feelings, and we get saved at funerals, and then we walk out the door and we don't even try to live safe. So
or even think about it again, right?
Or even think about it anymore, because when we're there, we're in our feelings. We do that at church every Sunday. Shout, cry, this, that, depending on how whatever we had on us, we went in, and sometimes we leave not having touched on anything. So it's not even just the Kanye West service. I feel like, however, like you mentioned, it's up to the person that's going to the show. I can go to work and have a high time in God, even though I went to go make some money for my children. It's all about what I'm going to do. So his intent, sometimes people have services with the intent of earning money. They have fundraising services. But I can go and I can eat the meat and I can spit the bones and leave it what I went to go get. Yeah. So what you thought you was doing. So, you know, it's all, again, that's why I always tell people, this is personal. It has nothing to do with anybody. When you make it personal, it don't matter your celebrity status. It don't matter. It don't matter anything. It's a personal relationship with you and God, and you will get from it what you intend to get from it. Right. And if you go and you just want to be an emotional wreck, then you'll just be an emotional wreck.
Right. That's the end of it. And Afton said that they had a whole service before Kanye's, and they did offer Christ before Kanye started. I'm happy to hear that. I would like to see still, and I know that's wrong to say, I guess. I would still like to know the fruit thereof. And I feel like the biggest thing with this is, yes, I want God to be glorified, but like you ladies have said, he will get the glory. He can literally get the glory out of anything, because he can get the glory out of us who are so flawed and imperfect. However, we missed our ministry moment with Kanye himself.
Absolutely. I agree.
I feel that, and that's the bottom line for me. I feel like we missed our ministry moment with Kanye himself when he walked into the doors of our church. Many churches. I'm not, even talking about New Birth anymore. Many churches to sing about our God. And could we not help him? I don't know. Okay, but that's I'm gonna leave that right there. We are going to take one more quick commercial break, and then we're coming back with our last topic for the night. Stay tuned. Advertise your brand or business on Churchy Chats with a Church Girl. Commercial spots start at just $5. That's right, just $5. Your brand can be seen by 1,000+ people weekly. For more information, email churchychats@gmail.com. Okay, so we're going to jump right into this little conversation, and we're going to let y'all go to bed. So, I saw online where, let me describe it, y'all. I tried to take a screenshot so that I could show y'all, but it didn't work out. But let me just let y'all know. There was a poster, an advertisement of two young ladies who were very model-esque. And I'm using that term because I don't want to be offensive. They were slim, very, very slim, very, very thin. I just want to get that out thoroughly. They were very, very thin. And on the advertisement, it said, "Love your curves." And for me, the reason why I was a little taken aback by it is because, at first I was like, I thought about it being a Black thing, right? Because I was like, Black women are so curvy, and what are you trying to say? Blah, blah, blah. No, I opened up my horizons, and I was like, I can't imagine. I'm probably about 13 and a half of these girls put together, right? Because they were that thin. They were that thin, right? So it would take quite a few of them to make me up. Here's the thing. I don't understand. I need help understanding. And we talked about this last week on the media side of things, like with shows and reality shows and how women are portrayed and how we are portrayed as catty and stuff like that, and how we need to change the narrative. Here's the thing. We talk about body positivity, but if I look up and see who is making these, who's making this, who is doing this stuff? Because if I look up and I see something like that, I don't know how I would feel. I still don't know how I feel, because I feel like it was disrespectful.
I was confused. I was confused. I was like, what curve? Okay. Yeah.
And we are like, it's so hard. It's hard enough to see real women represented in any form, especially of print media, like stuff like that, and clothes and stuff like that. And it has gotten better, but I don't understand the point. To me, that's a slap in the face. To me, it felt very disrespectful to women who have any little piece. Because if y'all gonna call the skinny women curvy, then what are we? Please tell me what I am.
Sure.
Please explain to me what I am.
And the fact that the nationality that they were too. Like what?
I'm completely confused about who's approving this stuff, because women have enough issues with self-image and body image and loving who we are and who we are in our skin. And curvy used to be a term to describe the more voluptuous of us, right? But
if anything, it should have been love your body. If you're trying to create, like, loving who you are, I could see that being said, because curvy is, you think of curviness, you think of, yeah.
you think of curve.
Or if you want to say love your curves, you can have someone that is, you know, different sizes, you know, no matter what size you are, you know, because not everyone's going to be curvy, you know, but having the different sizes, maybe one person that's a size 10, 11, another person that's a size 4 or 5, you know, because you're not going to get people that are all going to have butts and hips. Some people have one without the other. But that missed the mark completely. They I don't know if they didn't have a marketing team or the person was blind. I don't know.
Not blind.
So I had to look at it twice.
And I wanted to have this conversation because I wanted to get you all's input on it, because this doesn't happen to men. I've never seen an article say, I've never seen an ad say, love your six pack.
True.
I've never seen that.
And especially, I think, because at one time it was frowned upon for curvy women. Like, you know, you're too curvy, you're too fat. Now we're in this age, especially with social media, that women are literally going to get their bodies worked on to be more curvy. So it's like, was that ad the target to get you to promote something? You know, it's another body shaming type of ad to me.
Yes, I did. I felt that too. I thought I was tripping.
Yep, it's body shaming. Like Listiner said, love yourself, love who you are, love your image, whether it's flat, curved, whatever. You don't even have to, you know, put the spotlight or illuminate one particular division or component of your body. Love yourself.
Just love your body. And I feel like we get the short end of the stick when it comes to, you know, advertising as a whole. And, you know, people tell you to love your body, but then you flip the switch on me and show me what you think is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? What you think is acceptable. And I know we have the conversations, well, you know, you have to be stronger than that. And I understand all of that. But like my mom said, self-esteem issues are very real. And certain things can be triggers for us, right? So I may be feeling excellent in my curvy, you know, in my curvy skin today. But then I see something like that, and it basically negates what, if I'm not mentally strong, you know, it negates what I feel in myself and my self-esteem, and tells me, well, you don't look like that. So that's not what's pretty, or that's not what's beautiful. And why we not telling men what to do and what to love and how to look?
And
I just need to know why we don't do that.
And even with that, I know myself, because, you know, I am curvier. I have to find myself all the time checking myself. I will like not change clothes 5 and 6 times, and my girlfriend's like, girl, you look good, like put that on. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to give people an image that I'm just too much, or like, you know, you have to, that's my mental struggle. Like, I don't want to be just flaunting, you know, myself in a way that makes people look at me, you know, different than who I really am. So I feel like that is a real serious issue that, you know, society as a whole, you know, at first it was you're too thin, and then it's you're too big, and now it's you're in the middle, now it's thick girls and curvy girls. Just love who you are. And if you don't like something about it, change it. If you're fine with it, let it go.
Let it go. And that's a good point, Danielle, because let me tell y'all about the article. I mean, about the pictures. They were facing with their backs to the camera. Now, had that been somebody who was truly curvy, who truly had a body, that would have been an issue. Like, because it would have been suggestive. You know what you say, Charra? We can't hear you, boo. But that I feel like that would have been an issue if it was somebody who was truly curvy, because that would have been, oh, well, you're showing off, or you're like Danielle said, we have to be so careful how we come across. But it's okay for you to have your behind facing the camera, but for me, the game would be totally different, and y'all would be saying how horrible the situation, you know what I'm saying? How suggestive, and how, you know, that's not what we should be putting in the minds of our children. And it's sexual with somebody with jeans on just because I have a little hump back there, you know? So it's different how we look at people, and how it's okay for, I don't know. I'm over it a little bit. I think I'm just over it a little bit. And I wanted to have this discussion because we were our last night in the She Shed, and I just wanted to get, you know, y'all's feedback with it. and I'm reading through a comment right quick, but Corey said it's with men too. It's just not highlighted as much. Men don't typically speak on body image because it's mostly a female topic. That's a good point. I'm not saying that men aren't affected by the things that they see, right? That they don't feel like they have to look a certain way or be a certain way.
They have targeted ads though. They're not, I don't see any targeted ads toward men and like you said, abs and working out. I have never seen a targeted ad toward a man and saying, love your masculinity, or like you said, love your six pack, or your belly. I never saw that.
And I don't know, like I said, the people who are in this type of stuff changes. My mom and I were talking about this last night. We were talking about, and I won't get into this, but we were talking about how, the statues of the racist, historical figures are coming down and stuff like that. And all of that is fine and dandy. But what we really want is policy change, right? What I really want is for you to change a law for me. I don't need you to take Uncle Ben's face off the rice and you're not changing no policies. But to me, this kind of goes, to that. Where are the people at the table? Where are our Black women or women, period? Women, period, at the table who are able to stop this type of stuff and say, wait, y'all, come on now. Right. This is not okay. You know what I'm saying? And I think we have to have more representation in those areas to stop this, because this is how this thing trickles down, right? It trickles down from people who may not, well, I'm not going to get into that either, because people like to claim ignorance, right? They like to say, I didn't know that was offensive, when you know good and doggone well it was offensive. However, that's not what I'm saying. However, I just wanted to bring that up because, like I said, I want to see, it is my desire to see women empowered. It is my desire to see women uplifted everywhere that we look, right? Everywhere that we look, we should be able to feel that we don't have to compare to one another. We should be able to feel that we have support from one another, red, yellow, black, or white, and I have been so grateful for the She Shed for that reason, because I know so many amazing women who are doing amazing things to uplift not just other women, but everybody in their community and everybody that they have the privilege of connecting and meshing with, or doing business with, or whatever. So I wanted to have an opportunity to have the ladies to speak on all of these wide array of topics, and it has been an absolute ball in the She Shed. I appreciate all of you ladies for joining me for the final night in the She Shed, and I hope that all of you will come back on Churchy Chats and chat it up with me again soon. Is there anything you ladies want to say before we call it a night?
It was great. Thank you for having us. Don't stop.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, it was awesome.
Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate what you all are doing. Last week, I had a little moment where I was just kind of encouraging, people out there who are either, thinking about doing something, or, maybe have doubts about it. Do it, do it, do it. Don't sit on the gift that God has given you. I'm sure that somebody is in need of it. I might be that person in need of it. So don't be afraid to do what God is calling you to do. You can glow, you can grow, there's so many resources. Reach out to me, reach out to any of these beautiful ladies, anybody on Churchy Chats. I'm volunteering people. Any of my guests in the past are all open to just helping people and being there for people. So I just want to let everybody know out there that there's somebody out there that cares for you. All that's going on in the world did not stop our personal situations, right? It did not stop whatever we had going on in our personal lives. So just know that you're not by yourselves, and somebody out there loves and cares for you and is rooting for you. Go you. So that's my little inspiration for the night. And I want to thank you all again for tuning into Churchy Chats. Next week, we will start, August will be our Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus series. I am calling it He Said, She Said. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some good old topics that men and women have differing opinions on. I didn't want to call it Battle of the Sexes because, that sounds combative. So we're going to be nice and sweet, but we are going to chat it up. So please do not miss that next month right here on Churchy Chats. Until next time, guys, good night.